back, everyone. How are you guys doing? This is CryinMo. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft. Here we are in Camelot County, where we've been for the last few episodes, and we're going to be here again today. So today is a little bit of, well, first off, how are you guys doing? I hope everyone is doing very well. I hope you guys are having a good time. Hope you're having a good week. Hope, if you've got work, I hope work is going all right. If you got school, I hope school, well, school is just going to suck, right? Just kidding. I hope school's going well. I hope your exams are going well, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm just flying around here just because we can. We have a lot of fireworks and we're flying around. Today is going to be a little bit of, I guess, what we would call a talky episode, except, you know, I'm not really good at talking and building, so it's going to be, we're going to do some building, and I have some cool things to talk about. But first, I wanted to show you sort of, here's our little train station here, train depot. Obviously, this is the problem with the carpet here. You know, we can't put any blocks next to the cacti, or it will destroy itself. But this needs to all be done in as well, with walls and decorative stuff. But let's go over and see what I've done to, I just want to show you a little update I did to the elevator over here. It's not much, it's a very, very small update, and we talked about it before, and I want to maybe show you the armor I've thrown onto the armor stands and stuff, so you can see that. There we go. Okay, so I went ahead and threw some armor on the stands. So the armor's not organized necessarily into full suits of, like I wanted to set up like a full suit of fire protection armor, but I think I need to take that to the nether so that we can have that in our wither skeleton hunting grounds. We need a full suit of fire protection. And I had a question for you guys to see if you knew the answer to this. Let's say you have a suit of armor and you have protection 4 on a chest plate and blast protection on the legs, fire protection on the feet, one of each protection enchantment type on each piece of armor. Is that the best kind of armor to have, or do you actually gain more armor bonus by having 4 pieces of protection 4? Yeah, I mean, these things are here, you know, if we die and we lose our stuff, we can run over here and just pretty much grab any piece and it's going to be pretty good. As far as, yeah, that's a good one, right? I think all of these are pretty good here. But this one's blast protection. But a lot of them, I put mending on a lot of stuff just because I had a bunch of mending books I traded with Chester over at our Villager Career Center. And, no, what? Dude, okay. So you saw that. I pushed jump, I pushed shift, I pushed sneak. I couldn't stop falling down the ladder. I don't know what that is. I don't know what is happening. I assume it has something to do with the elytra, but I'm not entirely certain why whenever I sort of accidentally get stuck on a ladder, I will fall down it all the way. There was like nothing I can press that will stop me from falling. There must be something that CryinMo does not understand about climbing ladders. Because I'm so good at this game. Anyway, this is what I did to the elevator here. I went ahead and threw in some glass edges, to keep me inside of there, just to get me up through the small entrance areas. And then, of course, I had to put obsidian where for the 2 blocks where the slime block pops out and then ejects. So I was able to keep it open here by just not putting anything in these 2 blocks. Being able to have the glass here, at least for me, visually keeps the openness of the room a little bit. And so that sold me on the idea of putting some edges in there. And of course it works really well as far as going up. And let's go in here first. So yeah, I've added some, as you can see, my levels have gone down. I actually burned through all 364, 56 levels, whatever I had. Burned through all of those in the initial enchantment phase where I put all that armor together. I stacked a lot. I did a lot of combinations of the armor we got from the end and stuff. I used a lot of levels just to go through books, but boy, enchanting books is really a pretty crappy way to go. I mean, I got junk books, a lot of junk books, a ton of, like, you know, sharpness 1s and sharpness 2s and efficiency 1s, and I don't quite understand why they're so bad. Every once in a while, though, I would get some unbreakings. So I got, you know, a bunch of unbreaking 3s finally, which is good. That seems to be the toughest book for me to get. So some of these, though, I put together. I already combined books and burned through a bunch of levels like that, because then I went, when I burned through all those first levels, the 300 plus levels, I went into our double skelly farm for bone meal and AFK'd for, geez, man, it must have been a total of 9 hours, and I only got 164 levels. But you know, I got 4 double chests full of bones, and we needed bones for what we're gonna do today. All right, I haven't even had my breakfast yet. Good Lord, gonna have some pancakes and turkey bacon later on. My special, actually do my mom's recipe for pancakes, which you guys might find very strange. I use cottage cheese, and I replace the flour with oat flour, so it's like having oatmeal, because oats are much better for you than wheat. And oat flour is just good, you know, fills you up, sticks to your ribs, as they say. And of course, you know, we put some bunch of eggs in there, and then sometimes we put chocolate chips, because, you know, Kira's a big fan of chocolate, and so am I. Dark chocolate, to be specific. Dark chocolate's good for you. But anyway, okay, guys, enough talk about breakfast. We're going to start decorating. I don't know if decorating is the right word, but we're going to do our interiors here for the stairwells. But to start off with, well, and what I've got to chat with you about today is we went and did the escape room. So I think you guys might want to hear about that. I found it to be pretty interesting. So anyway, we'll talk about that. But let's see here. The first thing I want to do, though, is a little redstone tweak. And it's something I learned by watching Iskall85. So we have our farm here, right? And we also obviously have our water streams that harvest the crops, and they drop them into all our hoppers down here. Now we are sort of behind our farm collection room, right? So here we have our wheat, I believe. Yeah, so we got our wheat there and seeds. Okay, and these are all the hoppers that run down the front of our farms, where all of the crops up there get washed down into these hoppers. So right here is the dispenser that shoots items into the water stream. Water stream goes down there, bounces around, and takes them around for all the sorting system to drop them in there. And this is the farm that's on the other side of our pathway. This is our path right up here. So this is the other line of hoppers. And so this is the other dispenser that shoots items into the water streams to go in for distribution into our product room down there. I pulled out the redstone that was here. This was a very typical, the typical dropper clock thing that we always use, which, you know, runs click, click, click. But apparently these comparator clocks are much faster. Well, the first thing is we have to take this out, and this one. So, because, okay, here's the deal. What we need to do is we need to be able to take a signal out of this hopper. So I couldn't do it from this hopper up here that was dropping in, because I need to put blocks next to this, and that would actually hamper, it would interfere with the way that we need the redstone signal to run. So the idea is, if there's an item in here, we want to run this clock that's going to rapid fire this guy. So let's put down here, we need to put our comparator here, because we need to know if there's something in there. Let's take that out for now. And then we have to put a repeater going into here so that we don't confuse. If we put a redstone dot here, redstone dust, it's going to go into this comparator, and we need this signal to go directly into our dropper here. And then we need, so we would have, actually we could do it with we need this to go here, full signal, so it goes in here. If you have a signal, it goes into itself. So now we've made a closed loop on itself, right? But it doesn't do anything, it just stays on. But if we put this in subtract mode, now we get this fast pulse. And I believe that's a 1-tick pulse, I think. I could be wrong. That might be a 2-tick pulse. I really don't know my pulse lengths. I don't know what's happening here. So then we need to take this signal, this rapid fire pulse. We want it to pulse our dropper. Now look at that. Now we're talking. I'm sure that's faster than what it was doing before. So I'm going to do a test here really quick. I'm going to build the old style system because I actually want to test the two of them. Just for my own curiosity, I want to see if it really is faster. And I'm going to test this with the recording. We'll actually put these clips side by side or overlay them. Redstone box goes away, and all right, let's go get started on our let's go get started on our decorating the hallways. And we'll talk about the escape room. These are ugly hallways right here. I started to lay in some of the stairs, so that's kind of the stairs are okay. I gotta lay in the walls, of course, and it becomes this sort of giant mess. But we are going to go through a lot of bone blocks and a lot of spruce wood, so hopefully I have enough. My idea for here too is we're going to use a little bit of just glowstone lighting, just like we did in the just like we did over in our skeleton farm, actually, since that's sort of the design we're going with. But we're going to do a couple of different things in here. Yeah, so we have Mystery Island, which is huge. Huge project. I have not started designing that yet, but I have started looking at potential layout designs for that. There's going to be a new build that I want to do, and I'm going to start it. It's going to be out there in the desert, and it is it's a complete vanity build. It's a very ego-driven build, I suppose. I hope you guys don't dislike it because of that, but we'll see what you guys end up thinking. Yeah, so we did this thing called an escape room. If you don't know what escape rooms are, on the tablets there are these games called hidden object games, and I don't play them at all. They bore I don't find them intriguing. I'm not a good puzzle solver, so there's that. I don't like them because I don't do well with puzzles, but that's kind of how these escape rooms are fabricated. It was pretty fun. It was a pretty fun experience to do it. There seems to be some inherent issues with sort of the business model. I don't know if these things are sustainable because there's a problem with repeat business, because once you've done the escape room, it's not like you can go back and do it again. You now already know the challenge, the puzzles, I don't know because you've done the puzzles, and since they can't really change the puzzles up very quickly or very frequently, it's not like you could go and then the next day, a week later, go I want to take my friends and go to take them to the escape room because you would know the puzzles already, which is very strange. Yeah, so essentially you go into this business, this place, you have 1 hour to solve the puzzle, and solving the puzzle means escaping from the room, because you go in this room. First off, when you go in there, we were really kind of surprised because they were like, okay, you guys gotta give us your cell phones. We're gonna lock your cell phones up and your purses and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, oh, that's a little weird. But they did do it, and we were like, okay, we'll go along with it, I guess, for now. They lock up Kira's purse and everything. And I went with a friend of mine named Beemel and his wife, Shannon. And Shannon, by her own admission, she was like, oh, I'm not a puzzle solver. I'm not going to be very good at this game. And I was like, I'm not a puzzle solver either. And Beemel is not necessarily a puzzle solver. He was originally going to bring a friend of his from work that was a really good puzzle solver. Then that guy hurt his leg and he couldn't join us. So basically all of us non-puzzle solvers got stuck in this escape room together, and we had an hour to sort of find our way out of this room. And our escape room was a Harry Potter themed escape room, so it was decorated like it was the study or a room inside of the Gryffindor common room or something like that. And it was pretty cool. It was decorated not with super top notch things, but it definitely had a certain charm about it. The decorations and the furniture and everything wasn't necessarily the best top-notch stuff, but I know the guys, since I shot their business video, they created everything themselves. So they built the escape room and they created the puzzle and everything. So Kira was our best puzzle solver. She was the only one among us that actually does any puzzle solving in games. As far as video games go, besides Minecraft, I'm kind of I like to shoot things, and it's just that I just get easily frustrated with it, basically, and I always just end up going, yeah, just give me the hint, I'll just look it up or whatever. Oh, also, that is a thing they do have in this escape room, is they do have a hint system. And so the way it was for this particular escape room was that if you went on, followed or liked this escape room's social media, that's how you bought your hints, basically, was sort of going on to their Twitter and everything. So we pretty much had 8, 9, maybe 10 hints that we could have used throughout the process. But Kira, who was our best puzzle solver, was also anti-hints. She didn't want to use hints or wanted to use them as very little as possible. But once you get in the room and they lock the door, it does become this sort of it's sort of a social experiment almost. You're locked in a room with 4 to 6 people. There were 4 of us, so 4 people. They're friends. I know these people pretty well, and it was just pretty interesting because so what happens is everyone's personality sort of starts out right away. Actually, I could show you. I think I have the footage of the place. I could probably show you. Yeah, I'll just cut in and show you a little bit of it. Let's see. So you see what it looks like here. And this is what the space looks like. And I kept thinking like, wow, this is what if you were in like some sort of crazy, movie grade life-threatening situation, and you had this timed bomb or who knows, whatever, right? But you're in this room and you can't get out. They lock the door. So my friend Beemel, who is a graphic designer and comic book artist and illustrator, he starts going crazy and running around. He's the only one of us that's actually done an escape room before, so he knows he knows some of the gags and how they do certain things, some of the procedures. He's fixated on this idea that there's a black light, flashlight somewhere that we're going to have to use. And of course, when we first start the very first puzzle, we start at this table in the middle of the room, and on the table there are a couple of locked boxes. And one of them is what the staff tells us is that's the first puzzle. You start with this first thing right here, and they point to this box. And it's a cage, a wire mesh box with a lock on it. It's a combination lock, except that the combination lock is with like letters. It's like a letter combination lock. And inside of that cage, the little cage box, is a flashlight that is, as Beemel correctly assumed, has UV bulbs, blacklight bulbs in it, basically, this LED flashlight with blacklight bulbs. And so he wants to get this flashlight out. All right, so we're trying to solve, but he's not trying to solve the word puzzle. He's like looking around for some other way. I don't know what he's doing. He's just running around the room looking for something to try to get this flashlight out of the thing. And then Kira, her initial thing to start with, even though she is a puzzle solver as well, or does play games in which you solve puzzles, unlike the rest of us, she just went through all of the furniture, basically all of the cupboards, all of the things in the room, and just starts taking everything apart, looking for other clues. And she starts to find them, of course, because, you're in a single room. So you're allowed to go through any of the cupboards or anything like that. Anything that's not locked or whatever, you can go through and look for stuff. So she just starts pulling out all these different, she's found like 4 or 5 of the clue sheets, which are puzzles. So she's found a bunch of these. She's found, drawings and other weird things are coming out, And meanwhile, Shannon and I are trying to solve the word puzzle for the very first lock. And so we eventually get that done. So then Beemel gets the flashlight, gets his hands on this UV flashlight. So now he's running around like crazy, just shining this UV flashlight on everything, looking for more clues. And he finds a couple things, yes. So on some of these papers, when you shine the UV flashlight on it, there are definite letters and codes show up, in the black light, and that's pretty fun, just to see and everything. You're like, oh, it's cool. So there's some paintings on the wall, pictures on the walls that we don't really know what they're for. There are large locked cabinets that we can't get into. There's a huge chest of drawers that are all like screwed shut, but there's this weird thing in the top of it, and we don't really know how that works. Like there's something in there, but we can't get in there. It takes us a while. We don't get very far. And it turns out that there's a clock in the room, right, timing us. Well, we've been in there for 30 minutes. Beemel starts going, hey, let's just ask for a hint. We need a hint. We need a hint. We need a hint. And Kira is adamant that she just doesn't want a hint. She's like, no, we're not gonna cheat. No hints right now. And of course, some of us are like going, well, I don't know how we're gonna do this without hints, And she's just refusing to have hints. And Beemel just wants hints. And it was all pretty funny. We didn't take a hint. We kept looking. We eventually uncovered some things, and then of course we did have to ask for a hint because we couldn't figure out this one thing. There are some very neat things that we were not expecting. There are remote locks, which I found to be very intriguing. The idea that we would do something on one side of the room and it would actually cause an object on the other side of the room to unlock. Obviously electronically or whatever. And it was, it was pretty neat. I was pretty impressed by that. And then the coolest thing though was you had to stand in front of this cabinet that was locked. It said the clue was like you have to stand in front of there, and the person in your room that can do parcel tongue the best needs to speak the command word, the secret command word, to the cabinet. And if you say it correctly, it took us a bunch of tries, but when we said it correctly, I was standing in front of the cabinet door popped open, and I'd swung open a little bit, and all I could see down there was a tunnel leading to some other space. And I was like, whoa, and I backed up, and I was like, man, what's going on down here, man? That was probably my favorite moment of the whole thing, was having that door open and there being this crazy tunnel in there to another space, a crawl space. And of course we had to go down there and fight the snake and everything. And it was not physically, it's all puzzle based. That was great. That was an excellent, it was fun. That was a fun bit. They gave us extra time at the end because I don't think they had another group after us, and they were really nice and gave us some extra time. But we basically had to use 3 or 4 hints to get out of there. You know, they had a board up when we walk in, and it said 11% of people solved this without any hints. And only 14% of people solved it in time with hints. So, you know, we weren't super bummed or anything that we weren't able to necessarily get it all, you know, done together. So ultimately, we had a really good time, and I definitely would do it again. But of course, we wouldn't do the same escape room because we've already solved that one. So I would like to go to one that has like an even more ornate or like larger set of rooms or something, just to see something even crazier. I would recommend trying these. I mean, if you guys have a chance and you think you want to do something like this, I thought it was fun. Even if you don't solve puzzles, take someone who does solve puzzles and try it out, because it was yeah, I guess it was just fun. All right, okay, so we got something to look at here. I've only gotten about half of it done. It's taken me a lot longer than I thought it would take to get this done, and there's something else I want to go over with you guys to get your opinions on up at the top there. But here we go. So I cleaned this up a little bit and made it a lot less noisy, a lot less stripey than we had going on. Here it is a little bit, but at least these are all logical panels here. Much larger panels of bone meal, which I think is just fine. Now here I did put in an extra stripe here because this is a pretty large panel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 6. And this one here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5 is about as large as I want to go with an unbroken panel of bone meal. But yeah, as you can see, we climb up here. This is not too bad here. And then of course this is our main hallway here where we come down, and this is okay. I mean, it looks a little noisier, but at least it's straight sort of grid patterns, and it lines up very nicely. It looks soothing when we walk down it versus all those other lines I had going on here. So what I wanted to go over with you guys real quick as another design element is for these pathways right here. So I have this one idea, and I'm going to build it right here, and we'll see what you guys think of it. So of course we want to keep our, nope, wrong way. We want to keep our sort of bone meal walls in here somewhere. So I was going to add them here and here. And of course, you know, this would just be a repeating pattern sort of a thing. So I brought some leaves. Now we have spruce leaves, which of course generate a particular kind of look. And then we also have oak leaves. And there we go. Same thing here with our cobblestone stairs. Oak leaves. Of course, we could also mix them up. I haven't tried that out yet either. I want to put these little splashes of color in our corners right here. Yeah, this is going to be weird. I think you guys are going to be like, what? But I really like this block, and of course I never get a chance to use it for anything because it's so bright and saturated, but a little bit, I mean, I know that's really strange, I understand, but I think that little splash of red complements the red of the brick here, and it's just a little bit in there. I think we'll only, you know, you only see it if you're sort of cruising along, and it just kind of catches your eye. For some reason it feels like it works okay. I thought, well, this is an outdoor path and everything, so maybe what we're looking at is perhaps this is a arbor or trellis is sort of, I guess, the name for like a garden path with like a covered walkway. Like they get covered with an arbor or a trellis, which is a sort of an overgrown, like, you know, like viney bushes or something will grow over the top of a pathway. So I kind of really like that idea. Now on this side here, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Like, you know, leaves could be grown over to a certain extent and they could hang down and do different things. Once we have it all, you know, we see it everywhere, I think it's all going to match motif-wise. But this is what it looks like walking through here. And, you know, like I said, we do have the spruce leaves. So that's the spruce leaves inside of there. And these are the oak leaves here. I think the oak leaves look probably better, right, than the spruce. But we'll leave them up just to see what we feel like. And then, of course, I'm going to have to come up with different ways to do all this stuff. But all the way up here on this pathway, we can run that same kind of arbor, veranda, outdoor garden pathway, just like that over there. Oh, yeah, it looks kind of cool. I mean, when it's all finished, you know, you would see from up here, you would see the tops of it, which would be the leaves growing. Yeah, there we go. Of course, we're also looking at this in the evening, at the nighttime, and that's always a pain. Maybe I should go down. Let's take a nap. Oh, yeah, I kind of like how that looks there. I think that can be pretty neat as far as how we'll see it, you know. Yeah, like that. Pretty cool. I think that's pretty neat. I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think. There we go. That's a good vantage point here. Not that we would ever really see it from this particular vantage point, but it lets us see it. Yeah, I think it looks a little bulky, a little bit, but I think if it's flowing all the way, you know, if we're running it all the way around, I think it would look okay. And of course, it would look much better than what we've got right there. Yeah, so yeah, I think I'm digging that. I'm thinking that's looking pretty cool. Definitely might change a little bit when I go to, you know, actually build more of it, because that's the way it goes, of course, right? Yeah, the more you build, the more you live with it, the more it might change. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the episode. This is a CryinMo. I am I'm very happy to have hung out with you guys today. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next episode of our Let's Play series here, and we will do some more cool stuff. And until then, I hope you all have a good one. I will talk to you soon. Take care.